Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Talking Cardboard. My name is Cory, and it's been a while since our last quick roll episode, and that is because I just got back from being on vacation in Florida. So on tonight's episode, I go over the games that I brought with me on vacation to Florida, played with family while on vacation, and let's get started. And the first game we played out while on vacation was a quick, simple, nice, easy to teach game, Azul. I'm sure you all know what Azul is by now. It's made a huge splash in the hobby. In Azul, you are quite literally placing tiles on your board. The tile components are these nice heavy tiles. So in Azul, you have these round market areas on the center of the board. Each market has 4 different tiles on it. On your turn, you get to choose one of the, I know in the game we played it had 9 different markets, but it scales very well based on if you're playing with 2, 3, or 4 players. But in the game we had, there's 9 market circles on the middle of the board on the table. You choose one of those markets and you take any of all of one color or of one pattern from that market, and you take it and place it on your board. The leftover tiles go to the center of the board. So as people pass up on certain tiles and not taking the center, if they choose not to take the center of the board, that tends to pile up, stack up more and more until eventually somebody gets the entire middle pot of the area, and you place that on your board. The trick to this game, though, the really cool mechanism is that if you can't legally place a tile on your board to fit it in quite perfectly, then those remaining tiles go to the bottom of your board, and those count as negative points at the end of each round. So it's got this real cool scoring mechanic to the game where you're playing with kind of risk reward, choosing what you take when, to try to get the most positive points on the top of your board while trying to stay away from obtaining the most negative points on the bottom of your board from those tiles that you could not legally place. So Azul went over quite well, always does, went over very well. I played with my brother, his girlfriend, my wife, and we just all thoroughly enjoyed it. So much so that I believe my brother's girlfriend is going to go out and purchase the game. That's how much she enjoyed playing it. So definitely give this game a shot if you have not yet. There is the stained glass of Sintra version of Azul out as well now, which is a little bit of a variant on the original version of Azul, but either one, they're both very similar. I would definitely pick it up and give it a try. Definitely suggest to play it to your friends. You will love it. And the next game we got to the table while on vacation was a new game to me, and actually a new game to the world, and that is Tiny Towns. Tiny Towns, another nice abstract game just like Azul. Instead of placing tiles, you're choosing almost like a bingo mechanism in this game where you say a specific resource that you want, and everybody else has to take that same resource and place it on their board. So basically in the beginning of the game you choose random houses and buildings that come on these cards, and you place them out in front of you. Those are the different building types that have different special effects and special abilities that you will play for the rest of the game. The remaining buildings that were not randomly chosen go back to the box, so it has a ton of variability with the different various buildings that you can play from game to game. So definitely high praise for replayability on this one. But like I said, bingo mechanism, you choose a resource that you need to place on your board. The reason for doing that is the cards have different patterns on it with different colored resources, and you have to make that pattern on your board with those specific resources in order to build a building of that type. You're trying to combo different buildings to work well with one another. The trick is, like I said though, is you choose the resource, everybody else has to take it, the next player gets to choose the next resource that they may need, and you have to take it as well, even if you don't want it. If you don't have a good spot to put that resource, it could clog up one of the positions on your board and completely mess over your strategy. So you have to be very careful not to block yourself out of what you're doing, and strategically place the resources in various spots, and try to think ahead on what other people are going to pick for their resources to try to manipulate it the best you can. You can take your resources and build out the building on their turn as well, so you're not blocked until your turn to build a specific building. But just, you have to keep that in mind in this game. It's very tight and very strict with board management. You can easily block yourself out of it. any buildings that are not built in the spots at the end of the game, like let's say there's just some random resources that are hanging out there, those actually fizzle away at the end of the game, and each blank spot that's left on your board is -1 point per spot. So you can really kind of mess yourself over. You can mess others over if you don't play it exactly perfect to get, and you may end up with a lot of negative points. But yeah, the other buildings combo off well with one another, and you just have to choose how to best lay out your tiny town to score the most victory points by the end of the game. There is also a special pink building that everybody gets. It's a monument building at the beginning of the game, and that's unique to every player. Every player has a different monument that has a special ability. You can choose when to spend the resources to then flip over that card and activate the special ability or the special endgame scoring, but you have to be careful of that as well. That's another really cool strategy in Tiny Towns that I found, is when to reveal your special card. The card may be best revealed early in the game, but then others know what strategy you're going after for the remaining of the game. So you may not want to reveal it too early, but some cards are best revealed early. So you really have to weigh that very well. Some other cards are best revealed by the end of the game or at the end of the game, but that can be very difficult to pull off too, because you have the resources for that card, that face down monument card that you have, and you might have the necessary resources in order to build it, but you might want to wait the longest you can in order to play that monument, so others don't know what that monument does for you, because some monuments for the end game scoring can really give away how other opponents can block you from getting the majority of those monument points. So, but like I said too, the longer those resources hang out on your board, and it really clogs up your board. It really clogs it up with those resources up until you choose to build that building. So anyway, if that sounds interesting to you, definitely give it a try. I kind of went into this game a little bit blind. I did a little bit of research on it. It seemed like a nice little neat, unique abstract that I haven't really seen done in too many games, but you know, I am very happy that I picked it up, very happy that I gave Tiny Towns a try, and anybody who likes games like Azul or any other abstract games, and if you're looking for a little bit more thinky tension to add to your game shelf, definitely give Tiny Towns a look, and I think you will enjoy it. And the last game we played on vacation was the hit of the vacation. It is the game that everybody loved the most, and it is one of the newest cooperative board games to hit the market. We actually found it at a Target store in Florida, and I picked it up right away because I had heard great things about it already, even though it is such a brand new game. I believe it just got released at Gen Con now a few weeks back, and I'm really glad I picked it up. That game is called Horrified. So like I said, Horrified is a cooperative board game, kind of in the realm of Pandemic, but it adds some very unique, really cool twists. First and foremost, without getting into the mechanisms right away, I just love the theme. There isn't very many games that I have seen that has the old school monster theme, where you've got Dracula and you've got Frankenstein's monster and the mummy and the creature from the Black Lagoon and werewolf and the Invisible Man. You have all these different monsters from those old horror classic movies, and I know this is just screaming, no pun intended, but this is just screaming for some additional expansions to bring forth more monsters that you can play in this game. So in this game, there's pretty much an easy, normal, or difficult version where you can try to defeat 2, 3, or 4 of the different monsters that are in this set. Everybody has a unique character with a unique special ability, just like in the realm of Pandemic or other cooperative board games. Everybody has their own special ability that they can exploit the best they can to try to help out the team the best. So the whole goal of this game is to defeat the monsters before your terror track hits the end of the track. So how that terror track kind of works is every time somebody were to die, whether it be a hero or a villager, which I'll talk about here in a minute, one of them die, the terror track moves up another point. If you get to the end of the terror track, let's see, it's got up to 7. So if the 7th hero or villager and or both die, then the game ends. The town is terrified, too terrified, and you lose the game. So the monsters are trekking around the board, trying to get to your spot to attack you, to kill you. There are cards that come out that spawn villagers that you have to go and save, and if you can bring the villager to their safe location that they're looking to go to, then you you get these special ability cards that are one-time use, but you can use it as an instant whenever, whether it be your turn or one of your cooperative teammates' turns. You can play that whenever. So saving villagers is very, very powerful. But the monsters are going around. They're trying to get to your spot. They're trying to get to villagers' spots to fight them and to kill them. And if, like I said, if somebody dies, they go to the hospital. So you don't lose anything by dying in this game. It's not really too dramatic or traumatic. You're just sent to the hospital and you just restart on your next turn. Not too big of a deal. But the big deal about it is that that terror marker moves up another notch. And like I said, when it goes from 0 to 7, you lose the game. So that's definitely a bad thing. You're going around the map to these different locations. You're trying to pick up items. You're trying to pass items to one another. And what's really cool in this game, the mechanism that I love the most is that each monster has 2 parts to it. It's got part 1, part 2. The part 1 is something that you have to do strategically to either lure out the monster or corner them in or manipulate a different pattern of a different puzzle pattern to try to weaken them before you try to kill them. Part 2 on every monster sheet, like I said, is to actually go after them and try to kill them. How you're doing that is there's different items that spawn on different parts of the board. You're gathering items, you're trading items with other heroes, other people, to try to get different combinations of items in order to use them on a specific location, specific monster card or location to defeat their part 1 on their card, and then also you're using those items in a various pattern, various colors to use them all at once to defeat the monster as well. And each monster is just so unique. It's so fun to try to figure out the puzzle that each monster, how each monster differs with their specific puzzle that you're going to try to figure out. And that's what I love the most about this game. We had a great time. Definitely a simpler one. I would say definitely more of a gateway style game, one that you can pick up with family and younger kids as well, and they should be able to understand it just fine. But the theme, not too scary, but it definitely has that old nostalgic feel to it if you love those old horror movies and the old horror monsters. And I can't wait for more expansions to come out, and I can't believe I'm saying that already because this game was just released 2 or 3 weeks ago and I'm already wanting more expansions. That's how awesome this game was. Like I said, it went over the best out of any of the games we played on our vacation, and we had a whole lot of fun. So if that sounds fun to you, definitely pick up Horrified. If you're into cooperative games, pick up Horrified. If you love the theme, pick up Horrified. Would you just pick it up and play it already? So that is it for tonight's episode of Quick Roll. I hope you all enjoyed this episode, going over one older game to me and a couple newer games, whether it be old games or new games. I love them all the same. We had a great time on vacation. Whenever we had some downtime, we pulled out these games and played them, and everybody really enjoyed the heck out of these games. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I definitely don't mind answering questions and talking about games. Like I said, or like we've said before, this channel is all about talking cardboard, talking about games. That's what we love to do. Not only me, but the other members of Talking Cardboard as well. When they come out with their Quick Roll episodes, they discuss the games that they played recently in the last week or two, and they love to discuss games just as much. So please consider leaving us comments below. And like we said earlier, we may see you all at PAX Unplugged in December in Philadelphia. We are very excited for that. That is our first convention we are ever attending. So hope to see you all there, and you all have a great day.